All right, guys, we have Logan here. Just got second place with an X01 record at the Knoxville Regional. How'd your deck do today?
This deck's broken. I played the DESPIA, the pure DESPIA deck with Allure. This deck is just better than all the other decks, I think. It's pretty... It reminds me a lot of, like, the Sky Striker Orcus deck from a few formats ago.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so 3 Albers, best normal summon in the deck. So this deck plays 3 Fallen of Albaz because you want to try to fix the problem of basically, like, your opponent ashing your branded fusion and you just losing. So you want to have the highest chance to get to this, and plus it's really good in the grind, you know, etc. 3 was fine all day. I sided out the second one in, like, non-grinding matchups, but, like, or I sided out 1 and only went to 2 in some non-grinding matchups, but overall it was pretty good. 3 Tragedy because I play Allure. I think 3 Tragedies better than 3 of the Mercurier because Tragedy's good with opening and stuff and, like, poly. So yeah, that's my opinion on that, and it definitely was all day. 3 Head Jump. This card's broken. You just want to get to, like, poly every game. That's how you play through, like, hand traps. This is different. I played 2 Ad Lib. Because a lot of the time, if this is your only dark, you want to banish it with Allure. And if you only play 1, then you're just tight. And this was Dramaturge. One of these was Dramaturge, but I just realized that Dramaturge, like, yeah, the card's fine, but, like, it's never, like, amazing in any of the matchups. But just hard drawing this is actually just insane sometimes. Because sometimes you have to use your Tragedy to get to Aliber. And that, like, hard opening this just allows you where you don't have to search for it, which is pretty good. 2 was really good all day, to be honest. I only played 2 Mercurier. You'll never catch me playing 3 of this card, I don't think. I brick on this card like no other, so just 2, just to work with the Allure and have 1. Because if you banish 1, you always want the other one in the deck to search. Then 1 else, we played the Albion. I was playing 2 of this, I ended up cutting it. The Spriggans Kids for the combo, for the double mastery combo, and then the Snow. It's all the monsters. No hand traps. You can just break your opponent's board most of the time. 3 Fusion. Cards insane. 3 Opening. 3 Patchwork. If you open Patchwork, your hand's pretty much playable every time. I actually didn't resolve Fusion very much because, like, a lot of people would just ash it, and then I would still just full combo anyways with just Fusion and stuff. It happens a lot. 3 Super Poly. Card's broken in the mirror. Like, you know, like, what you need to do in the mirror, I realized, is, like, you can't drag out the game and just try to grind with your opponent. You just need to kill them, and this card just allows you to kill them, and it's just really good against Sword Soul and stuff too. 2 Poly for the Patchwork, and then 2 Brandon in red. I was playing 3 of this, but I ended up dropping it because I didn't want to draw too many fusions. I was also playing the Field Spell, but I realized the Field Spell just, like, it goes with the same problem, right? If you just draw too many fusions, like if you draw hands of, like, Super Poly Fusion, Brandon red, and, like, no monsters, it's just not good. So yeah, I ended up cutting that. Then Brand lost, card's broken, and then this deck was 40 cards, but I ended up just wanting to play 2 talents in my deck. I wanted to play this card somewhere, and I wanted it in the main deck because it's so strong, but the reason I only played 2 was because you draw so many cards in this deck that you literally you never want to see 2 of this card. I actually seen 2 like twice, so. Then we have Call By, and then 3 Pot of Greed. This card's crazy. It's Allure. So there was literally a game where I was playing against Virtual World, and I was outing my opponent's board, and he was thinking or responding to my Aliber, and he's like, "How many cards in your hand?" I said, "I have 8 cards in my hand." Just because I Allured, banished Tragedy, and Allured, banished Mercurier, and then activated Patchwork. It's crazy. I had 1,000,000 cards. That's the main deck, 42 cards. There's not anything I would change in the main deck. I think the main deck was really solid. Talents was pretty good all day. It was dead a few times, like people just played around it. But I mean, hey, if they're playing around it, that means they're not using monsters during my main phase, so they're probably losing. So there's that. And there's those. So yeah, extra deck, 2 Mirror Jade. Pretty standard. 2 Lebellion. You can theoretically cut this to 1, but there are games where you summon this and leave it on board to be able to fuse during your opponent's turn, and if you don't recycle it, you want the second one, or if it gets stopped. But the reason I drew is because I summoned this in attack mode and my opponent just poked over it, and we lost in time, or we drew in time. I played 3 Albion. This card came up like 2 times today as 3 of. Like, you just kill your opponent a lot, and like This card's just really good in this version of the deck because you always have like a really heavy graveyard, and Snow's broken with all the draw cards because it just fuels your grave. 2 Masquerade. This is like a lot of the time your ending board. 2 Masquerade, Mirror Jade, Brandon Red with ad lib. Just ridiculous. Oh, this is kind of cool. So I played against a Mystic Mind opponent, and I burned him to death. So that was cool. 2 Chimera, 2 Draco Stapelia. Some people don't play 2 of this. It just comes up, like especially with Super Poly. I mean, it mainly comes up with Super Poly in the mirror. You Super Poly in the mirror, and then you made the first one turn 1. You always want to have it. I made 2 0 times, but it does come up. So and you have room. I didn't play the big DESPIA guy, Brandon guy. I don't know his name. The guy that takes 3 monsters, light and dark. I just didn't think it was needed. I never missed him. The Glory Dragon, this card never came up today, but it's come up in testing, so it's pretty good. And then Gorgeous, you need this for Sword Soul. That's the extra deck. Side deck, 3 Token Collector for Sword Soul. Ironically, I never played against the Sword Soul today, so this was not very good. 3 Droplet. Card's broken, obviously. For all the Eldritch players, I played these. I kind of wanted to play another one. I didn't know what I wanted to play though. So Evenly is just really good in the mirror as well. I think I haven't actually resolved it, but if they do the double matching combo and you evenly them, they go through most of the resources. And like even if they end with like 2 interruptions, like they're down so many cards that yeah. And then the best card in my side deck, 2 Mystic Mind and a Terraforming. Should have played 3 of this and a Terraforming, to be honest. This card's just insane in the mirror. It's actually just like, it makes your opponent like, so like the problem with the mirror is your opponent goes first and you just can't break his board, you just lose because you have to kill him that turn, or they're just gonna kill you on the crackback. And like with the lures and stuff, their chances of seeing a card like Dimensional Barrier is just like so high that like you need a blowout card in the mirror to be able to to be like an equalizer. And Mystic Mind does that really well because you just Mystic Mind them, and if they didn't respect it, they just duck out. I actually chose to make my opponents in the mirror go first, game 2 and 3. And I just brought in Evenlies and Mystic Minds and then like those Super Polys and stuff. I felt like I had a pretty good matchup, even going second. I didn't lose a mirror today, or I drew with 1 mirror, but yeah, Mystic Mind was insane. I decked out like 2 people or something, 3 people. And the last card is Necrobell, Banshee, and Zombie World. The reason I played the Terraforming over the 3rd Mind is because against Flunder, you have the option to side this in with this, so you can like search this if they stop your Brain Infusion. I felt like it was probably a little bit better. But I think I should just go forward, play 3 Mystic Mind, 1 Terraforming is great. But yeah, shout outs, I guess. Shout out to Team Nightmare. Shout out to YuGiOh Gaming for doing this deck profile. Shout out to Gage, Nick, everyone here, Lou in the floor. Yeah, this deck was broken. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more video, guys. Peace.